The night sky over Earth was calm, full of bright stars when the first alien ships arrived. They came without warning, sliding silently into orbit. To most people on Earth, it was just another night. But in the control rooms of space stations and military bases, alarms started ringing. Commander Rena Kale stood in the command deck of Lunar Station Atlas, staring at the massive shapes on her screens. The alien ships were unlike anything humanity had ever seen. Sleek, shining vessels with glowing patterns that pulsed like veins. They were not here for trade or greetings. They had come with power and confidence. "This is not a drill," Kyle said, her voice sharp as she turned to her crew. "Activate defense protocols. Track their movements." For centuries, humanity had wondered what first contact would look like. Scientists had imagined peaceful meetings, translators breaking down language barriers and warm handshakes between species. But this was nothing like those dreams. The alien message came as a direct transmission. It was translated instantly by Earth's AI systems. The voice was cold, formal, and without emotion. "People of Earth, you are now under the protection of the Galactic Council. Your planet will be integrated into the Council's network. You will provide resources and labor as required. Resistance is not advised." The words hung in the air like a death sentence. Around the world, leaders and citizens listened in shock. Integration, labor? It sounded less like an invitation and more like an order. "Typical conqueror language," Kale muttered. "They don't even try to hide it." On Earth, the United Human Assembly gathered for an emergency session. Representatives of every nation appeared on the giant holoscreens. Some argued for diplomacy, others for surrender, but a few voices called for resistance. Humanity had fought wars before. They had rebuilt from disaster, and now they faced something far greater than themselves. Back on Lunar Station Atlas, Kale's radar officer gasped. "They're shutting down our satellites." On the screens, icons representing Earth's defense satellites began blinking red, one after another, as the alien ships sent disabling pulses. Humanity's eyes in space were going dark. Kale didn't wait for orders. "Arm the railguns," she commanded. "Target the nearest ship." Her second-in-command hesitated. "Ma'am, this will start a war." Kale's jaw tightened. "They already started one when they attacked our defenses." The order was given. A moment later, the first shot fired. A metal slug accelerated to incredible speed, tore through the blackness of space. The nearest alien ship tried to dodge, but the slug hit it head-on. The explosion was blinding. When the light cleared, the alien vessel was nothing but burning fragments slowly spinning into the void. Silence filled the control deck. No one had expected a single shot to take down such an advanced ship. Humanity had just proven it would not be an easy target, but victory was short-lived. The remaining alien ships turned toward Lunar Station Atlas, charging their weapons. Kale braced for the worst. Then something unexpected happened. Instead of firing, the alien ships stopped moving. Their lights pulsed faster, as if they were speaking to each other. Moments later, they jumped away, vanishing into faster-than-light travel. "They're retreating?" the radar officer asked in disbelief. Kyle nodded slowly, though she didn't smile. "No, they're going back to call reinforcements. This is just the beginning." News of the encounter spread across Earth within hours. The destruction of the alien ship became a symbol of resistance. People filled the streets, waving flags, chanting slogans of unity. For the first time in history, every nation stood together under a single goal: survival. Factories worked around the clock, converting civilian spacecraft into armed vessels. Scientists rushed to improve Earth's railguns and missile systems. The world's brightest minds shared technology freely, something they had never done before. Humanity was preparing for war. Kyle watched it all from orbit, feeling both pride and fear. Pride that humanity had chosen to fight for its freedom. Fear because she knew what was coming. The Galactic Council would not forgive this. They would return, and next time they would not underestimate Earth. As she stood by the viewport, the blue and white planet below seemed so peaceful, so fragile. She clenched her fists. "We will be ready," she whispered. Somewhere in the distant stars, alien leaders were meeting, discussing what to do about the humans who dared to resist. But by the time they decided on their next move, it might already be too late. Because Earth was no longer a quiet world waiting to be taken. Earth was awake. And it was angry. Commander Rena Kale sat in the briefing hall of Lunar Station Atlas, listening to the latest reports. Earth's response had been fast, faster than anyone had expected. In less than a week, every space agency and military force on the planet had joined together under one command. Shipyards were working non-stop, and asteroid miners had volunteered to convert their cargo haulers into warships. Humanity had never been this united before. The alien attack had done something no treaty, no government, and no leader had ever achieved. It had erased borders. Kale looked at the holographic display showing the solar system. Icons representing human assets blinked across the screen. Orbital platforms, defense satellites, shipyards, drone factories. Red lines marked where new railgun platforms were being installed along the moon's surface. "We are producing faster than ever," said Director Chen, head of Earth's Defense Council, appearing via HoloLink. "But we still do not know when the enemy will return. We must be ready for a larger fleet." "They will come," Kyle said firmly. "They will not let this insult stand." Meanwhile, the Galactic Council far across the galaxy, the council chamber was in chaos. Hundreds of alien representatives shouted over one another, their voices overlapping in anger and fear. "The humans destroyed a council warship," one delegate cried. "They killed our emissary before negotiations even began," another shouted. At the center of the chamber, High Chancellor Vore raised his staff and the noise slowly died down. His face was grim, his scaled skin glinting under the lights. "The humans have proven themselves dangerous," he said. "Their weapons are primitive, yet they destroyed one of our ships with a single strike. This cannot be ignored." Some delegates agreed, calling for immediate retaliation. Others hesitated. "Perhaps we should try to negotiate again," said a representative of a smaller species. "If they are strong enough to destroy a warship, perhaps they could be useful allies." But the majority were against it. The Council had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years through fear and control. To let a primitive species defy them would show weakness. "Prepare a fleet," Chancellor Vore ordered. "This time, we will bring enough firepower to crush them before they can spread their defiance to others." Back on Earth, Kale stood in front of the United Human Assembly. Her words were broadcast live across every continent and colony. "We are not fighting only for our planet," she said. "We are fighting for our right to choose our own future. If we fall, every free world out there will know that resistance is hopeless. But if we stand, if we fight, we will show the galaxy that Earth is not to be taken." Billions watched her speech. Workers in shipyards cheered. Soldiers in bunkers saluted. Children held up drawings of Earth surrounded by shining shields. The mood of the planet shifted. Fear was still there, but it was joined by determination. Preparation for war. Earth scientists pushed technology forward at lightning speed. Old rival companies shared designs, pooling resources to improve propulsion systems and railgun accuracy. Orbital shipyards grew into sprawling fortresses. Kale spent long hours training new crews, running simulations of space battles. She knew they couldn't rely only on defense, they would have to strike first when the time came. "Think like them," she told her officers. "The Council expects us to wait, to hide behind shields. We will do the opposite. We will take the fight to them when the chance comes." Her boldness inspired others. Soon, teams of hackers were working on ways to infiltrate alien communications, while drone factories began building swarms of autonomous strike craft. Signs of the enemy 2 weeks after the first encounter. Deep space probes detected strange energy readings near the outer edge of the solar system. Something big was coming through faster than light space. Kale stood in the observation deck as the report came in. "They're early," her second-in-command said quietly. "They're not early," Kale replied. "They're testing us." She turned to her officers. "Alert every station and shipyard. Move civilian traffic behind Mars. We are officially on war footing." Alarms echoed across spaceports and colonies. Civilian freighters scrambled to safety while defense platforms powered up. Humanity had prepared as best as it could, but no one knew if it would be enough. Hope and resolve. That night, Kale looked out the viewport at Earth. It looked calm, glowing softly against the black sky. So many people were asleep, unaware of how close they were to war. She felt fear, yes, but also pride. Earth had been underestimated for centuries by its own people, divided and fighting over small things. Now united under a single cause, they were stronger than ever. "They will come for us," she whispered to herself. "And when they do, we will be ready." Across the planet, millions shared the same feeling. Mechanics worked late into the night. Scientists stayed in their labs. Soldiers sharpened their skills. Humanity was not waiting to be saved. Humanity was preparing to save itself. Somewhere beyond the stars, the Council fleet was gathering. But so was Earth's fury. The first wave of the Council fleet arrived without warning. 20 massive warships appeared at the edge of the solar system, their hulls glowing with alien energy. Each one was larger than any human vessel, bristling with weapons designed to flatten entire cities. On Lunar Station Atlas, alarms blared. Commander Rena Kale stepped into the command deck as the holographic display filled with red markers. "They're here," said her radar officer. 20 confirmed contacts. "More may be coming." Kale's heart pounded, but her voice was steady. "Signal all defense platforms. Activate the battle plan." All across the system, humanity moved as one. Orbital railguns powered up. Missile batteries turned toward the incoming fleet. And drone carriers released swarms of small, fast attack drones. The battle begins. The Council fleet advanced, confident and slow, expecting to crush human resistance easily. Their first volley of plasma fire tore through empty space. Earth's defense fleet had already moved. Kale's forces struck first. Hundreds of drones streaked toward the enemy, too small and fast for the alien targeting systems to track. They carried explosive charges and rammed into the Council fleet, damaging shields and knocking weapons offline. "Direct hit on their lead ship," someone shouted as a massive explosion lit up the display. But the Council was quick to respond. Their return fire destroyed dozens of drones, and one of Earth's orbital platforms was reduced to dust in seconds. Kyle gritted her teeth. "Bring the main fleet forward. We have to hit them hard before they regroup." The human fleet, converted freighters, mining haulers, and a few newly built warships, charged in formation, using their smaller size and faster engines. They weaved between the massive Council ships, targeting engines and weak points instead of going for direct kills. Guerrilla tactics. What the Council didn't expect was how unpredictable humans could be. While most species fought in strict formations, humanity used irregular, chaotic maneuvers. Ships would scatter, regroup, then strike from multiple angles at once. Kale herself led a daring flanking run, her cruiser slipping under the shields of a Council carrier and unloading a full barrage into its reactor core. The carrier exploded in a brilliant flash, and cheers erupted across every human ship. "They didn't see that coming," Kale said, a rare smile crossing her face. Hackers strike back on Earth. Teams of hackers worked day and night, trying to break into the Council's communication network. During the battle, they finally succeeded. Suddenly, parts of the Council fleet went dark. Weapons refused to fire, targeting systems froze, and several ships even turned their guns on their allies before their crews regained control. "Human code is inside their systems," a Council commander roared somewhere across the galaxy. "Shut them out." But it was too late. The confusion gave Kale's fleet precious time to press the attack. A costly victory. After hours of brutal fighting, the Council fleet retreated. Only 9 of their warships escaped into faster-than-light space. Humanity had lost dozens of drones, 4 converted freighters, and 2 orbital stations, but they had survived the first true test of war. In the command deck, Kyle watched the last enemy ship vanish. Her crew cheered, but her expression was grim. "This was only the first wave," she said quietly. "The next one will be bigger." Her second-in-command nodded. "At least now they know we can fight." "Yes," Kyle replied, "but that means they will come with everything they have." Inspiring, the galaxy news of the victory spread far beyond Earth. Across the galaxy, worlds under Council control heard about the humans who had stood against the impossible and won. In secret, resistance groups began to form. Supplies and information quietly started finding their way to Earth's forces. For the first time in generations, the Council's rule was being questioned. Planning the next move back on Earth, the United Human Assembly met again. Some leaders wanted to stay defensive, to wait for the next attack, but Kale argued otherwise. "If we wait, they will crush us with a larger fleet," she said. "We have to take the fight to them. Strike their supply lines, disrupt their control over other worlds, make them fight on too many fronts." It was a bold plan, but the Assembly agreed. Soon humanity began building more warships, this time designed for deep space travel. Drones were improved with stealth technology, and hackers worked on more advanced code to disable alien systems. Humanity was no longer just defending its home. It was preparing to take the war across the stars. A new phase of Warkyle stood in the hangar of the first completed long-range warship, the UHS Valiant. The ship gleamed under the lights, a symbol of Earth's determination. She placed her hand on the hull and whispered, "You're going to carry our fight to them." The stars no longer felt distant. They were now the battlefield. And Kale knew that the next battles would decide not just Earth's future, but the future of countless worlds watching in silence, waiting for a sign that the Council could be defeated, and Earth was ready to give them that sign. Weeks passed after the first great battle, but there was no peace. Humanity knew the Council would not forgive them. The victory had bought time, but not safety. On Lunar Station Atlas, Commander Rena Kale studied the newest intelligence reports. Spy drones hidden near Council space had finally sent back images of something terrifying. An enormous weapon, larger than any ship humanity had ever seen. "It's a planet cracker," Kale said, her voice tight. "They mean to destroy Mars. Mars had become Earth's lifeline. Its shipyards were producing half of humanity's new warships. If it fell, the war would turn against them." Her officers stood silently around the table. "What do we do?" one of them asked. Kale's answer was immediate. "We don't wait for them to come to us. We intercept them before they reach Mars. The enemy approaches at the edge of the solar system. The Council fleet appeared. Bigger than before. 40 warships formed a wall around the massive planet cracker. Its long, glowing barrel pointed forward like a spear aimed at Mars. They brought everything," Kale muttered as the holographic display lit up with enemy markers. On Earth, every ship that could fly was launched. Fleets from the Moon, Mars, and orbital stations gathered under Kale's command. Hundreds of drones were prepared for suicide runs if necessary. Humanity was outnumbered, but not outmatched. The battle for Sol, the two fleets met near Jupiter, where the gas giant's gravity made navigation tricky. Kale had chosen this location for a reason. Its strong pull would give her fleet an advantage if they used slingshot maneuvers correctly. "Begin attack run," Kale ordered. Human ships split into multiple groups, circling Jupiter's gravity well before darting toward the enemy from different angles. Drones swarmed ahead, distracting the Council fleet and drawing fire. The planet cracker's shields glowed as they absorbed hit after hit. It kept moving forward, slowly but steadily, its course never changing. "Target its engines," Kale shouted. Railgun rounds and missiles struck the massive ship, but the shields held. It fired once, a blinding beam that cut through space and vaporized a human cruiser in seconds. Kale gritted her teeth. "We can't let it charge again. All ships, focus fire on the shield generators." A daring plan as the battle raged. Earth's hackers found a weakness in the planet cracker's shield system. They could disable it, but only for a few seconds. "That's all we need," Kale said. "Prepare the strike team." A small group of fast attack ships, including Kale's own cruiser, broke formation and dove straight toward the planet cracker. Enemy fire tore through space around them, but they kept going. When they were close enough, the hackers activated their code. The planet cracker's shields flickered and went dark. "Now," Kale shouted. Her fleet unleashed everything. Railgun slugs, missiles, and drone charges. The massive ship shook under the combined assault. Its engines exploded, throwing debris into space. But the planet cracker was not dead yet. Its main weapon began charging again, glowing brighter and brighter. The final blow kill made her choice. "Ram it," she ordered. Her cruiser accelerated to maximum speed, heading straight for the planet cracker's main barrel. At the last moment, she and her crew ejected in escape pods. Moments later, the cruiser slammed into the weapon, detonating its reactor. The explosion was so bright that it lit up the surface of Jupiter's moons. When the light faded, the planet cracker was gone, torn apart, its pieces scattering into the void. Cheers erupted across every human ship. The Council fleet, stunned by the loss of their ultimate weapon, began to retreat. Humanity had won, the cost of victory. Kale's escape pod was recovered hours later. She was alive but exhausted, her body bruised from the violent ejection. "How many did we lose?" she asked quietly. Her officers hesitated before answering. "More than we can count. But Mars is safe. The fleet is safe. We've done it." Kale closed her eyes. The victory had been costly but necessary. Hope across the galaxy. When news of the battle spread, it shook the galaxy. The Council's strongest weapon had been destroyed by a species that had only just begun to travel the stars. On distant worlds, rebellions broke out. Entire colonies refused to send tribute to the council. Alien commanders began questioning their orders. For the first time in centuries, the council's power looked weak. Kyle stood before the United Human Assembly once more, speaking to every person on Earth and beyond. "They brought war to our door," she said, her voice steady, "but we showed them that Earth will not fall. We are not just defending our home anymore. We are fighting for freedom, ours and theirs." The chamber erupted in applause. Humanity was no longer fighting for survival. It was fighting to change the galaxy. Kale turned back to the stars. The council would come again, but she was ready. The next battle would not just decide Earth's fate, it would decide the fate of every world watching. Earth had reached its breaking point, and from that point forward, there was no turning back. After the destruction of the planet Cracker, the galaxy changed overnight. Word spread quickly. A single planet once considered weak had defeated the most powerful weapon the Council had ever built. Across distant systems, aliens whispered, plotted, and quietly rebelled. Humanity's defiance had inspired hope everywhere. Commander Rena Kale stood on the command deck of the UHS Valiant, Earth's newest and most advanced warship. Before her, the assembled fleet prepared for the boldest operation humanity had ever attempted, an assault on the heart of the Galactic Council itself. "This is it," Kyle said, her voice steady. "We strike at the Council homeworld. We do not aim for destruction alone, we aim to end tyranny. Every world they have controlled, every species they have oppressed deserves a chance at freedom." Her crew nodded, determination in their eyes. They were tired, yes, but their spirits were unbroken. Humanity had fought through impossible odds and survived. Now they would deliver the final message, journey to the Council. The fleet leapt into faster-than-light travel, crossing thousands of light years with precision. Scouts went ahead, mapping defenses and alerting Earth's forces to weak points. Kale knew the Council would have reinforced their homeworld after the recent defeats. But intelligence suggested a growing unrest among the Council's subjects, an advantage Earth could not ignore. "This isn't just a warship battle," Kale said to her officers. "We're fighting for a future. Every move must be calculated, but we will not hesitate when the moment comes." The crew worked tirelessly, running simulations, coordinating drone swarms, and preparing the hacking teams. Each officer knew the risk. One misstep and the fleet could be annihilated. But humanity had learned to thrive under pressure. The Council homeworld. When the fleet dropped out of faster-than-light space, the Council homeworld loomed large. Its surface was a maze of towers, defensive grids, and energy shields. Hundreds of Council warships patrolled the orbit, ready to strike intruders. Kale did not flinch. "Divide the fleet into 3 groups," she ordered. "One attacks the orbitals, one distracts the patrols, and the last moves to the surface." Drones and ships darted forward like swarms of lightning. Human hackers penetrated the Council's networks, turning weapons offline and creating chaos. The orbital defense ships turned on each other, confused and vulnerable. It was a battle unlike any other in the galaxy, a fight of intelligence, courage, and relentless willpower. Breaking the Council on the ground, the Council leaders gathered, panicked. Their fleets were crippled, their superweapons destroyed, and alien populations across the galaxy were rising in revolt. High Chancellor, Vor realized the truth too late. Humanity was not just a threat, they were a force that could inspire change everywhere. Kale's message came directly through the Council communication channels, broadcast to every corner of the homeworld. "Your rule has lasted for centuries, built on fear and submission. But fear is not stronger than courage. Submission is not stronger than freedom. Today the galaxy chooses a new path. We offer you a choice. Step down or face the consequences." For the first time in thousands of years, the Council was silent. Victory without annihilation. Kale expected resistance, but surprisingly the Council surrendered. Their fleet stopped firing, and their planetary defenses powered down. The galaxy watched as humanity, victorious, did not annihilate the rulers. Instead, they extended a hand to reshape the Council into a fairer alliance. Earth's victory was complete, not because it destroyed, but because it inspired. Humans had proven that courage, ingenuity, and unity could triumph over even the most powerful adversary. Across the galaxy, oppressed worlds cheered. Planets that had long been silenced began to speak. Humanity's leadership was firm but fair. offering guidance and protection while allowing each species freedom and choice. A new Arachale stood on the steps of the council's main chamber, the stars visible through the massive windows. She looked out at the galaxy and spoke words that would echo for generations. Earth never wanted war. But when war came to us, we showed that we will not kneel. Freedom belongs to those who fight for it. Today we fight not just for ourselves, but for all who dream of peace and justice. The galaxy will never forget that humans stood, and that we acted together. The words resonated across every world, a call to hope and unity. The council had been humbled, not destroyed, and the galaxy had learned a lesson it would never forget. On Earth, people celebrated, not just their survival, but their triumph over fear and oppression. Humanity had reached beyond its solar system, beyond expectation and into history. Commander Kale returned to the UHS Valiant, looking at the stars. There were more challenges ahead, unknown threats, new worlds and discoveries, but she smiled. Humanity had proven its strength, and now the stars were open to them. Earth had risen, Earth had fought, and Earth had won. The galaxy would never be the same again.